Hey y'all, welcome back to Mulberry Branch Farm. My name is Ashley, and today we've got a little bit of maintenance going on our farm. It's March 1st, and I cannot believe it, but I am in a t-shirt. March is definitely coming in like a lamb. And speaking of lambs, we're getting really close to our kidding season. We're 2 weeks away. So that does mean that I have some does that I need to prepare in about a week by shaving, just doing like an overall check. But today what I'm going to be doing is I've got 4 to 5 does that are about a month out. And a month away from due dates, I make sure that I am administering CDT shots so that the kid that is gestating inside of the dam will get the benefits of that vaccination, and it will protect them for the first few weeks of their life. And we usually vaccinate them with their second booster around 3 to 5 weeks. On top of that, we take this time to really make sure that they're getting their last doses of selenium so that we have kids that are nice and strong on their feet. Sometimes when you have kids that are born that just don't seem like they can get their feet under them, or maybe their joints are a little discombobulated on their legs, it's probably because of a selenium deficiency. Many areas in the US are selenium deficient, but you really should look up through your agricultural co-op if your area in fact is deficient in selenium, because you actually can overdose selenium. So we make sure that that's part of our lineup today. I will be giving the shots, we'll be doing selenium. I'll be checking Fomantia scores, even though I do my herbal dewormer through Land of Avila. I actually have everything ready for later, because everybody's getting it done today. We give this once a week, and I don't have to worry about withdrawal periods within my milk or my meat if I decide to butcher any of our animals. And with milking season coming up, it's really important to me that we're able to use the milk that our goats are producing. So I've got that, and I will be checking their hooves and doing a quick hoof trimming, and then we'll be filling out our record sheet. So let's go ahead and get the first doe in here. I'm sure she just cannot wait. Bossy, Bossy. There we go, Bossy. I know there's no food yet, but there will be food, I promise. So this is Mossy. Mossy is actually one of my herd queens in my herd of Nigerian Dwarf Goats here on Mulberry Branch Farm. Mossy is due in about a month. Mossy is also due along with Sunny, Guy, Pinky, and Merida. I have 5 does going at once. My first 2 up are going to be Willow and Tiana. So let's go ahead and look at Miss Mossy here. As you guys can tell, she is nice and wide. She's given me triplets the last 3 years, or the last 2 years that she's kidded out for us. So I feel like she's heading that way again, because she is nice and wide. So I'm going to do the tough part first. I'm going to go ahead and administer a CDT shot. And I've just got my handy dandy everything here that I need. Now CDT shots, regardless of age or weight, the dosage is the same, and it's going to be 2 milliliters or 2 cc's per goat. I give this subcutaneously or sub-Q in the extra skin underneath of her armpit here. The reason for that being is we are working towards a show line that also can produce lots and lots of fabulous milk. But the reason we give it underneath in her armpit, judges are less likely to feel that. It won't be like up on her neck and lump it. So what I like to do, and I know sometimes YouTube doesn't like this, so I don't know what's gonna happen with this, is I'm going to actually pull up right here, right in her elbow. I'm going to pull and tent the skin, and I'm just gonna go right below the skin surface. But be careful, if you poke too hard, you can go right through the other side. Poke yourself, poke whoever might be holding your flap of skin, and then you've got a hole through the other side, and your vaccine won't stay in that skin fold. So, I know. There we go. I'm just gonna feel on the other side to make sure. And a nice quick injection. And I just give her a little rub right on the injection site so that so it kind of takes away the pain of it. So let's go ahead and give you some selenium. I know, baby. Oh, I know, this is ucky. Most of them don't like this, but she'll shake her head. So I'm just kind of keeping it to where she can't really get her head away from me, where she has to swallow. Because a lot of them will shake their head and they'll sling it out, and then you're like, well, how much did you really get? Because you don't want to give them too much if you can avoid it. The reason we focus so much on this maintenance prior to them kidding is that we want our does to be in the best possible health they can be. And these are just practices that I've had over the years that I found success with. If you don't want to give selenium because you feel like your goats aren't deficient and there's no real way to know if your goats need it or not, that's totally fine. If you don't give CDT shots to your does a month before they deliver and you just give them their shot whenever you have it regularly scheduled for the rest of your herd, and you give your kids their 2 shots after birth, that's totally fine. All of those things all move towards the same goal, which for all of us goat keepers is to have a happy, healthy herd. These are just the practices that I find work here and that keep my goats the happiest and the healthiest prior to kidding. And that's really what I want. I want them to be as happy and healthy at kidding, because the healthier they are, the easier their kidding is going to be, which means the less stress on me and the less I'm going to have to intervene. It's hard to believe that almost 145 days ago, we started breeding our Nigerian dwarf goats for our 2022 kidding season. And we're almost down to the deadline. We are within a week of kids. This is the point in the year where I get really excited. Spring rolls around, we got things getting ready to go on in the garden, we've got goats getting ready to kid. There's just so much that's going on around the farm. It can be the most nerve-wracking part of my year or the most joyful part of my year. Most of the times it's both. Because waiting around for a goat to kid and hoping for the best situation but steeling yourself for the worst situation can take a pretty heavy toll on us goat keepers out there, us crazy goat ladies. But with kidding season getting so close, it means I have a lot of work to do in my barn. I actually started last night. I started putting up our kidding pens, and I never can believe how incredibly dirty this side of our barn gets from the end of kidding season and milking season to the next. It always feels like there's so much to do, and really there is. We're cleaning off the walls, I've mucked things out, we're putting together our Seidel kidding pens, but I really do love the versatility of my kidding pens. I find that they're a really good size to let my does move around, but also confined enough that in the throes of kidding, for a more skittish doe, they can't really get too far away from me. So I can be in the pen and they can feel like they're far enough away from me to go through labor peacefully. Then next, I throw down some lime. The reason I throw down this barn lime is that it really is going to help me to control any types of odors or moisture in these kidding pens, because with does and kids in here confined sometimes, that means that there's a lot of defecating and urinating going on, and that can cause for some really stinky situations, a lot of moisture, and some not great situations for respiratory issues if it's left untreated, and the lime helps me with that. We're not getting on the stand, I know. How weird and foreign. There you go. Welcome to your birthing suite. Welcome to the birthing suite. My sweet mom. My sweet girl. My sweet girl. You're a good girl. Can I have that collar? Would you like some food? There's benefits to being in the suite, and I'll get you a friend. Tiana's coming in here in a minute. Let's get you something. Jingo, stop. Here you go. There you go, Mama. There you go, Queen Bee. There you go, Queen Bee. Oh, guys. So we successfully got Tiana and Willow into their kidding pens. It's always a little bit of an adjustment period. Once they realize when they come in here, it means food, and they're not having to push and fight for hay or feed, and they're getting just a little bit more TLC, they settle right down. Poor Tiana though, she misses her kid from last year, don't you? You just miss everybody, but it's okay. They're not gonna be in here 24/7 for the next 7 days. As they get closer, I might keep them in here longer, but for now, they're just in here at night to get them accustomed to coming in, getting their feed, associating their stalls with food and water without having to have too much competition. Because at this point in the game too, I really worry about some of my more dominant does butting them. You can tell these guys kind of just sit back and move off the feed bunk and move off the hay because they're so heavily pregnant. So once they start realizing that they get a little extra something while they're in here. They won't have any qualms about this. You ready for baby goats?
Yep. I have some in here ready too.
Yeah. Oh boy. You like it, Tiana? Are you happy? You guys have quieted down. You guys realize it means food?
A little spacey.
Yeah. You look happy. Happy girls. You're like, yes, we don't have to fight for our food. There's a lot in here. So something new I'm trying with my girls this year is raspberry leaves. Raspberry leaves are supposed to really promote uterine contractions. So that means for my pregnant does, it should help them have stronger contractions, more effective contractions, rather than if I get stuck in a pinch and I need oxytocin, maybe I can substitute this until we get there. But yeah, I've heard that it's supposed to be really good for promoting that. So I'm gonna see if my girls like it. We're about a week out. You can give this to them like a month out, all leading all the way up. But I'm just gonna see if they like it to begin with. So let's see if I like it. I'm just gonna give them, it's like they're like shredded. You wanna try it? Oh yes. Oh yes. Is it good? Willer's like, what is she getting that I'm not getting? Hold on, Willer. There you go, Willer. Goodness, Willow, you took like all of it. You guys, the cans. I guess they like it. So whether that's really gonna help me out or not, still needs to be proved and determined, but I figure it couldn't help. And I got these off of Amazon. I am gonna go and drop the link down in the description below. If you're interested in getting some of these for your goats, it is an affiliate link. I do get a little bit of a commission if you buy from it, but it's no extra cost to you, but I just thought I would share that. Something I've been wanting to try because I am trying to start taking a more holistic approach with my goats. There's a time and a place for chemicals. I totally get that, but sometimes there have just been some grumblings about prescription veterinarian meds and it being harder to get those. And sometimes you just don't have a vet that you can get to right away, or you might not have that prescription on hand, or they don't want to give it to you for whatever reason. So I'm trying to find some holistic substitutes for those, so that if I get stuck in a hard place with my girls here, that I am patiently, not so patiently, awaiting their kids, then it's nice just to have that on hand, because you never know, it could really help you in a pinch. I'm really happy to get Tiana and Willow in here, and these are some really tried and true does. This will be this will be Tiana's 3rd freshening, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be Willow's 4th freshening. So these girls are well versed, they're good mommies, their bodies know what to do, but it does give me peace of mind keeping them in here. Some of you that are familiar with our channel know that we've been going through some unprecedented predator pressure in our area. So with that being said, as much as I would love for them to be out in our pasture kidding and doing it as naturally as they can, this gives me peace of mind at night. This gives me peace of mind if the weather turns bad, which it's supposed to this upcoming weekend, which is a day or two away from both of their due dates. So if I know my girls, they're gonna wait until it's super cold and they're gonna kid. That's just the way goats are. If there's a monsoon, a snowstorm, it's gonna be really, really cold, or you've got someplace to go or someplace to be, that is when they're gonna kid. And there's nothing you can do about it. So this is one of the things that I can control. I can control when they come in here in the evenings. I can make sure that they're getting their feed, their water, their hay, without having to compete with my less pregnant does that are still a little bit more mobile. And it gives me peace of mind when it comes to temperature drops, or when I've got predator issues. I know that they can be in here and they're gonna be safe from the elements, and they're gonna be in a safe position when they're incapacitated by labor. Because any of my moms out there know when labor starts, you pretty much can't do anything. You don't want to get up and run from a predator. I mean, it's really tough, and it's the same for them. So I am ecstatic that they're in here, but please, if you feel like I'm showing you the only way it can be done, it's not. I've kidded my goats out in the fields. I've kidded them in other stalls. For the love of goodness, I've had them get out of stalls and out of the pen and kid. So this isn't the only way to do it. And trust me, their bodies know what they're doing. They've been doing, animals along with ourselves, we've been going through birth naturally unassisted for years and years and years and years from the dawn of time. They know what they're doing, but this at least gives me a peace of mind to know that they're safe. That they're safe while they're kidding, and that it's one less thing for me to have to worry about. This does help to get them and myself into a routine for milking. Because even though these girls are tried and true on the milk stand, they're both milk stand trained, it does take a little bit of relearning every season to get them back where they should be. And this will just help us all get into a routine of being handled at least once or twice a day. And it'll help us all transition. If you can do things like that to make your routines easier or your routine transitions easier, because I really struggle when I change up my routine. It feels like it goes so much slower. It feels a lot more painful. But when I got it down, then it's fine. I know it like the back of my hand. But thank you guys so much for being here today while we are getting our barn ready to receive kids. And we will be kidding from March 15th, which is the first due date, until like June. My kidding season is stretched out from the beginning or the middle of March to the beginning of June. I don't know why I did that. That's okay. Hindsight's 2020, and I will just take the lessons and woes that I experienced during this kidding season and try to apply and change to the next one. So thank you guys so much for being here. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you let me know by dropping me a like, leaving me a comment, and subscribing. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for spending your time here with us on Mulberry Branch Farm. We hope that you are all staying safe out there and being kind to one another. We will catch you in the next one. God bless you. Bye, y'all.